And returning to our story now on the Diamond Jubilee year of the Supreme Court, we are joined by Aman Sinha, Senior Advocate of the Supreme Court. Mr. Sinha, thank you for being with us. Prime Minister
Thank you, Mark.
said that, Prime Minister said ease of justice, it's the right of every citizen. So how far or close are we to this ideal?
You're absolutely right, Mark. Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, while inaugurating the Diamond Jubilee celebrations of the Supreme Court, emphasized on the need for having ease of justice. In fact, he stated that ease of justice is right of each and every citizen of the country. And he also mentioned that Supreme Court is an important medium to access that ease of justice for all the citizens of the country. Now, as far as ease of justice is concerned, Mark, there are large number of initiatives, transformational measures, which have been taken under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji. For instance, you would recall that on the initiative of Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, more than 60,000 compliances have been abolished. The burdens which were there on citizens, they have been absolutely done away with. Secondly, Mark, more than 2,000 obsolete legislations, which were legacy of our colonial past, they have been also quashed and they have been omitted from our statute books. So this itself is a remarkable transformational legal reform which enhances the ease of justice for each and every citizen. And you would also recall that for instance, our criminal jurisprudence, Indian Penal Code and CRPC, Evidence Act, etc., they were all legislations dating back to about 140, 50 years back, or even more. And there is a new set of criminal laws which have been enacted, Bharatiya Nyaya Sahita and Bharatiya Nagrik Suraksha Adhiniyam and the Sakshya, the Evidence Act, etc. So therefore, there is a comprehensive change. Now our laws are absolutely in tune with the present contemporary times. And there are large number of such transformational legal reforms which have been taken under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji to ensure ease of justice. But the other aspect is that an equally important partner in securing ease of justice is the judiciary, our higher judiciary, our Supreme Court, High Court, and other subordinate courts, Mark.
Indeed.
And here also,
yeah, yes. In fact, there's a lot that you've said, so we'll try and unpack a little bit of it. We are also the e-courts, the third phase, has the Prime Minister talked about that. It's been sanctioned by the government. Also about 800 crore rupees, which works out about $100 million for our foreign viewers, is been sanctioned for the expansion of the Supreme Court. How timely are these interventions?
That's a very pertinent question, Mark. In fact, the government has been providing a lot of funding for digitization of courts, for e-courts, etc. And Prime Minister complimented the Chief Justice of India, Dr. Dhananjay Chandrachud, for supervising the digitization of courts. And this digitization of courts, I can tell you, Mark, as a practicing senior lawyer, that we are perhaps the most modern, most well-equipped in terms of technology, most well-equipped and most modern court, so to speak. Now, today, if you go right from the stage of whether it is e-filing of all the matters, all the legal matters, whether it is virtual hearing, hybrid hearing, which is there, or availability of all our record in digitized form, availability of all the legal text in the digitized form. And therefore, in the third phase of this e-court project, as you pointed out, Mark, the funding has been multiplied by 4 times as compared to e-courts project 2.0. Okay. So there is a large amount of funding which is coming in, and it is being deployed to excellent use. And we are seeing that even during COVID times, even during pandemic, our courts, they resolved lakhs and lakhs of cases were adjudicated upon, not only by Supreme Court, but by high courts and by subordinate judiciary also.
Right, absolutely.
Therefore, large number of these initiatives have already been translated into action. And today also we saw there was launch of a new website of the Supreme Court.
Right.
There was a launch of a new website of SCR, Supreme Court Reports, which
Right.
will document all the cases from 1950 up till date, which will be available free of cost for anyone to see. And similarly, the other parts of digitization of courts were also put into action.
Indeed.
So large number of initiatives have been taken. And then coming to second part of your query, Mark, because not only digital infrastructure, the physical infrastructure of courts is also being enhanced and improved. And in fact, I can tell you, Mark, you were mentioning that 800 crores is earmarked for expansion and upgradation of the Supreme Court building. But from 2014, about 7,000 crore has already been allocated and spent actually for the improvement in the physical infrastructure of the court.
Absolutely.
So that has already been deployed and it has been translated into action. And
so
last week itself,
let's look at some of, Mr. Sinha, let's look at some of the points raised by the Chief Justice as well. He spoke of, 4 challenges. Or he said actually there were conversations or something, difficult conversations. He talked about ending this adjournment culture, long vacations, reducing lengthy arguments, creating a level playing field for everyone. Have these conversations, difficult conversations, started?
No, this is a welcome move by Chief Justice Dhananjay Chandrachud. And in fact, obviously what Chief Justice is trying to do is that he's trying to start a conversation, build, opinion and a consensus on these issues, because actually these are also part of our colonial legacy, and they have been there for quite some time. And you have to take all stakeholders into confidence before initiating any major moves. And in fact, it's a welcome statement by Dr. Dhananjay Chandrachud. I welcome it wholeheartedly, and I feel that there ought to be conversations on all these 4 heads. And I'm sure that once these conversations are initiated, they will be taken to their logical end, and we will see a lot of movement going ahead in very soon, in very recent times.
Sure. So we've talked a lot also about how the technological interventions have improved the courts. What's the future of, the digital future of courts going to look like? Because there's also the talk of AI interventions. I think the Chief Justice was talking about already in some motor vehicle cases or something, AI is already being used in some form. Do you see it becoming easier for the judiciary, easier for people like you arguing cases before the court?
As far as argument is concerned, there is not too much intervention of artificial intelligence. You would also perhaps concede that human intelligence any day is superior to artificial intelligence. But in cases of a certain different nature, where it is highly procedural and statute and thereafter taking all judgments into account, has come up with a module or has come up with an program or algorithm which can address those plethora of cases, or at least narrow it down to the primary issues which court may subsequently consider. So there AI is being used, and that's a welcome move. That apart, as the Prime Minister was speaking today, at the same time, simultaneously, we had translation in English.
Yes.
That is also a part of AI, artificial intelligence. So there, AI can certainly play a part. Supposing if a person is not very conversant with a particular language or with the English language, maybe he can argue in another language and it can be translated simultaneously. So there are several such moves which are under consideration, and these are all welcome moves, and a lot of them are being explored. And certainly, therefore, I stated to you that the Indian judiciary today is the most modern and in terms of technology, the most modern and up-to-date judiciary, which has seamless e-court and digitization all across the board.
In fact,
And
yes. We're all
the
watching it
initiatives
also on,
which have been
on
taken.
all the YouTube channels and things like that. It's all visible. So we are seeing how the courts are already functioning, or not much paper involved, everyone with, digital instruments. It seems like we are in, already in that stage where technology has clearly taken over and speeding up justice. Thanks very much, Mr. Aman Sinha. Yeah, you want to say something? Go ahead. Yeah.
No, I just wanted to mention, Mark, that large number of these reforms have been, uh, they have been taking place for some time. The government has been providing funding, etc. And now we are seeing all this being translated into reality. And this is what ease of justice is all
All
about.
about.
And this is what
Absolutely.
Prime Minister emphasized. So government on its own is taking several landmark initiatives, several transformational legal reforms to ensure ease of justice. And it
Yes.
is also supporting, enabling, and funding such progressive projects by the judiciary to ensure ease of justice. And together, I'm sure the government of India and the judiciary together will certainly make ease of justice more accessible and enhance it for each and every citizen of the country, Mark.
We leave it there. Thank you very much, Mr. Aman Sinha, Senior Advocate
Thank you.
of the Supreme Court. Thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Now, the Janata Dal United's president,